rankings.
Oh, how can we have power rankings when we barely had OTAs?
You know, there are shows out there that have already done 5 power rankings. I'm just doing my first.
See, they're redundant.
They're stupid. Okay, power rankings are so stupid.
That's why
But
nobody watches those shows.
I know.
That's why we're different. That's why we're innovative.
No, what's going to be different is that I'm going to do my power rankings, and then you are going to rip me to shreds.
Okay, that's what our kind of make your powers.
All right. So,
You do a couple, and then I'll address.
okay, well, I'm going to try to rip through this as quickly as I can. And I do have a format here. I want to do like a lot of people do like honorable mentions. I'm going to call them just missed, right? Before we get to my top 10. But I also, every week, what I'm going to try to do is
Before you get to your top 10, are you going bottom up?
Yeah.
We're going to have those at 32.
No, we're not going to do 32 teams. We're going to do the ones that just missed. And then the one thing I want to add, and that I haven't seen anyone else do specifically, is every week I want to try to do a sleeper team. And especially during the off season, I think that this is really relevant. Like, it's that team that's like, you could actually maybe make the argument that they should be in the top 10, but nobody is talking about them. Right. And you're going to be really surprised by mine.
Because once they're 6-0, it's hard to call them asleep.
That's true. But yeah, no, during the season, I think you could still do it. But during the off season, it's much easier. All right. So
Bring on the power.
all right. So here are
My thing when we do power rankings every week.
power rankings. Yes, do your thing.
Bring on the power.
Nice. That'll be our power rankings.
That's cool.
Trans like, not so loud, dickhead.
We got a limiter. We're good.
Oh, he's got a limiter.
Awesome. Wow, we are high tech here.
Engineer.
All right. So here are my teams that just missed.
Please.
All right. First one, Baltimore Ravens.
Just missed what, top 10?
Just missed top 10.
Okay.
Baltimore Ravens.
Are they 11?
No, there's no 11s or 13s or whatever. Right? This is
It's a group of non-top 10.
Exactly.
All right.
So they're very hard to keep off the list, but I just have so many questions still about their defense, and their rookie receivers are going to have to mature really fast, or Lamar isn't going to have anybody.
Bro, I think
They got rid of all their tight ends.
I think you buried the lead. I think the question really is what is Lamar Jackson? Is that guy a Super Bowl caliber quarterback,
Right.
or is he just a guy?
I mean, that is another interesting question too, especially like in a non-in-season power rankings. Like, do you have to factor in the fact that even if they go 13-4, they're going to lose in the first round of the playoffs, right?
It just,
And until he proves otherwise, I mean, how can you say that they're a top team?
it's very hard. It's very hard, Mike, because it would seem that prior to now, they had enough team to get further than they've gotten.
Yes.
On more than one occasion,
Yes.
they were the favorites.
They have at least one of the top 2 safeties in the game. They have at least one of the top 3 running backs in the game.
Yeah.
Now their offensive line has questions too, because they lost their center, right? They lost their center to the Raiders. And they have a brand new coach, right? This is going to be the first time in 17 years that they haven't been coached by John Harbaugh.
Why did they get rid of Harbaugh? Was it like we got to get rid of Harbaugh or we got to get rid of Lamar?
I think so. Yeah. I think it was one of those, like, we just haven't, last episode you were talking about the Bills and how they're like always on the precipice. Right. Well, the Ravens are very similar, right? They're always kind of right there, and they'd never crack through.
Yep.
And so, they decided they had to make a difference, and it's probably easier, even though it's not easy. They probably figured it's easier to find another good head coach than it is to find another Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
Or at least Lamar Jackson during the Raiders.
Well, Lamar Jackson that they hope he is.
Yes, exactly. So, all right, next one. And I know that there's going to be a lot of pushback on this one.
Really?
From our 4 listeners.
Our listeners. Oh,
Yeah.
that wasn't put
All right.
for me.
No. Well, maybe from you.
Okay, let's see.
But my next one is the Patriots. All right. They are also very difficult to keep out of the top 10, but they have a significantly harder schedule this year than they did last year. They have to play the AFC West and the NFC North this year.
Yep.
That is a brutal schedule, in addition to 2 games against the Bills. So you have to expect that there's going to be some regression from last year. Even with the addition of A.J. Brown, I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference. We don't know what's going on with his knee. And also, Drake May, his superpower last year was his deep ball. And I'm sorry, but that is a high variance thing. I don't care how accurate you are. When you're throwing the ball 50, 60 yards, it's a high variance thing.
It is a high variance thing, but I also think traditionally in the league, the thing that really is the decider in that variance is, do you have that receiver?
Yeah.
because that was, just to use the Vikings as an obvious example. When you had Randy Moss, there was no variance. Every year he was going to catch 10, 50-yard touchdowns.
But AJ Brown, as much as I think he's a good receiver, he is not Randy.
But that's what I'm saying. If you don't have that guy, then there is going to be variance. But if you have a unicorn receiver, you can just throw the ball up and hope for the best. But I will say this about the Patriots. This is where you have to look at ownership and go, every team in sports should be looking at that franchise, because I cannot think of another team of any sport historically that had a run like they had.
Right.
Even talking about the old Celtics or the 80s Lakers or, the Yankees, that run was unprecedented. Yeah, Belichick, Brady run was absurd. And they had about 8 seconds of downtime, and now they're in the Super Bowl.
Right. Well, you know that there's a very specific reason. There's one very, very specific reason that they were able to have that run. In addition to the fact that Tom Brady is probably the greatest quarterback of all time and Belichick's a really good coach.
What one specific reason?
There's a very, very specific reason.
What is your reason?
Tom Brady consistently took below market contracts so that they could pay other players. And if,
I would like to verify that.
No, he did. Check it out.
Okay, well, that's great. And I'm sure he wasn't living in the poorhouse. But even taking below market contracts, you cannot look at every year they had a tight end for him to throw it to. And no matter what happened to the previous guy, even one of them winding up being a murderer who was like their first round draft pick. What was his name? Hernandez.
Yeah.
He goes down. 8 seconds later, they've got a new Hernandez. They get rid of that guy's
name was Gronkowski.
Yeah, exactly. And they had a guy before Hernandez as well.
Right.
And it's just like, this receiver's down. Here, we literally they had a factory where they just kept spitting out 5'11", 190-pound white guys that just had no pain.
Yeah. And I know the irony is that the one period during all that where they didn't win at all was when they had Randy Moss.
Well,
Isn't that great?
I barely even call that a period. It was like a blip. And it was literally, if the Giants don't have
David Tyree
7 miracle plays in a row, they probably win this tournament year. But yeah, that team, I mean, incredible the way the consistency. It's beyond belief.
For sure. Absolutely.
They lose Belichick, they lose Brady. Oh, they're going to be done. No. They'll be in the Super Bowl in half an hour. Okay, thank you.
Yes, no, I hear you. No, they are one of the handful of very, very well-run teams. The Niners are another one. The Rams are another one. The Chiefs are another very well-run franchise.
Yes, there are very well-run ones, but I can't even, Niners, they had their whole Montana Young team, and then a long time of nothing.
Right.
And then they kind of came back with that defense where
And I also think, you cannot underestimate the fact that Belichick he might be the greatest defensive coach ever.
I just think he's the best coach ever.
You
can't go 20 years of excellence without just being a genius.
But most of those Super Bowls were not the Patriots winning 45-30 and stuff.
But that was even more.
They were pretty low scoring.
But that's even more definitive of how good he was, that he always could adjust. His in-game adjustments just beat everybody all the time.
Yes. And Tom Brady, the other thing about Tom Brady that makes him special is
super handsome.
He was super handsome. That's true. And it distracted the other team, I'm sure.
I believe he married a model, if I'm not mistaken.
He married a model, and before that, he was married to a TV actress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to be Tom Brady.
It's good to be Tom Brady. But no, the thing was always infuriating about him from an opponent standpoint is that he knew what the defense was going to do before the defense did it.
Yeah.
And I've never, and even though I am a huge Stafford fan, and Stafford's great at that too, he is definitely a notch below Tom Brady. I've never seen, and not Joe Montana, not Peyton Manning, nobody could do it like Tom Brady could do it.
I mean, I want to say yes, but I would say there's a handful of guys that you'd be hard-pressed to define what was greater about any of them. Brady, I think, consistently had better teams around him than any quarterback ever did. But I think if you're okay, Montana, Brady, LA.
I don't know. Montana had some pretty good teams around in.
Well, yeah, and he won 5 championships. Well, Marino, there's a handful of dudes that you could kind of be like, you're not going, if you put them on, an even platform team,
Right.
if you like, I don't think you have many less wins than you would with Tom Brady.
I don't know.
If you put John Elway on all those Tom Brady teams, I think they win exactly as many.
I don't know, man. Yeah, John Elway is great, but Tom Brady just his ability to read what the defense is going to do.
It was quite remarkable, yeah. But he couldn't run the way Elway could run, and he definitely didn't have the arm Elway had.
Oh, for sure.
If you add those,
Well, neither did most quarterbacks.
well, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, all those guys had something special. I mean, Montana could read a fucking defense like nobody's business. I mean, that guy was a surgeon.
Yeah,
He was a surgeon.
not quite the same, but I agree. Okay. All right, let's move on.
Okay.
All right. Next one on my list is the Bengals, the Cincinnati Bengals. So this just feels like a team that doesn't have an identity, but anytime you got Joe Burrow and Lamar Chase and T. Higgins, you've got a chance. But I can't put them in the top 10 because they got rid of their best defensive player. I don't know who they are. And, or I shouldn't say they got rid of him, but they let him walk.
That's super insane.
So they're next on my list of just misses. And then after them, the Packers, the Green Bay Packers, just outside the top 10. We're not exactly sure when Micah Parsons is going to return. Jordan Love is still at best a fringe tier 1 quarterback at best. And I just don't know who else they have that pushes the needle for them. So if they're going to go 2/3 of the season without Parsons on defense, I just don't know. And especially in that division, you've got the Bears are going to be great again. You've got the Lions who are going to be really solid at least really solid. And I'll get to the Vikings in the middle, but
It's a fair assessment of both of those teams so far.
all right. Next on the list is the Houston Texans. The defense is terrifying. That is one of the best defenses I've seen, maybe even since the '85 Bears. I mean, they're that good. Or what was it, the 2000 Ravens? I mean, they are crazy good. But C.J. Stroud has to show that what he did as a rookie was not just a fluke, and he hasn't done that yet.
Yeah, I think it was.
And
I don't think it was a fluke, but I think he will regress to the mean, as they say.
well, he's regressed a long way. After what did he have, like 7 turnovers in one game in the playoffs last year? And, they completely rebuilt their offensive line, but they have to gel, and so only time's going to tell. If the offensive line actually comes together and they're even an average unit, then they could do so. They'll probably win their division again, and they could be a very, very solid team. But right now, they're just outside the top 10. And then my last team that I have outside the top 10, other than my sleeper team, is the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm just not sure that they did anything to improve this offseason.
I would put them well outside the top 10.
Well, I mean, they did finish 13-4 last year, something like that. So
I think that
Liam Cohen is no joke. He's a real coach. He's a very, very good coach. They are in a weaker division.
I think there's a lot of
So,
record.
but we'll see. Right now, I just don't know. The jury's still out on them. And maybe you're right. I mean, that is a team that if you told me if at the end of the year they wind up like 7-10 or 8-9, I wouldn't be surprised. But they are going to have what's his name? The Colorado kid, the two-way player. Everybody knows who I'm talking about. He was the second round. He's the guy they traded up with. They traded up for to take second.
He's a cornerback?
Cornerback and wide receiver. Everybody knows who I'm talking about. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name right now, but they're gonna have him back for the. If he stays healthy all season, he'll help a lot. But we'll see. All right, my sleeper team. And trust me, this is not just for you. I truly believe what I'm saying is the Minnesota Vikings. I said this to you when we were talking about it like 3 weeks ago, that you just wait. Kyler Murray was never what was wrong with the Arizona Cardinals. That guy was the first overall pick for a reason. Now, granted, the only guy out there who has an offensive system that's close to as crazy as Sean McVay's might be Kevin McDonald. So he's got a lot to learn.
Yeah.
But and they're from what I've heard, they're throwing everything at him right now. But this is why you have the offseason, and this is why you have training camp and all of that. And And if he's the guy, I'm sure they're going to, if they have to pare down the playbook a little bit at the start of the year, I'm sure they will. I know that you have concerns about who's going to play safety for them. But
That's
that,
among
you know,
others.
Brian Flores is a great defensive coach. And
I don't know about that.
I think they're going to he's going to get a lot out of his guys. And I'm telling you, that team is going to score points. You got Justin Jefferson, you got Jordan Addison. Those guys are super legit. You've got, this is another team that I think has a bunch of tight ends and they're all deep.
DJ Hawkinson,
You know,
they have stacked running back room.
yeah.
There's no question they have weapons. There's also no question that these donuts have not arrived.